Here we are on section 7.2. Let's do a few problems starting at 51. The first thing we're going to do is simplify our numerator. When we multiply, we add the exponents, so 1/2 plus 3/4 power over negative b to the 1/4 power. 1/2 plus 3/4 gives me 5/4 power, because this is the same as 2/4. And then when I divide, I subtract the exponents. So I'm going to have, well, b divided by negative b. It's going to be a negative b to the 4/4 power, which is the same as 1. So negative b to the first power, which is just negative b. Now let's take a look at question 53. 53 says x cubed to the 1/2 power over x to the 7/2 power. We know that when we do power to a power, we multiply, so 3 times 1/2 is the 3/2 power. And when we divide, we subtract exponents. We can do it one of two ways. If I take it 3 minus the 7, I'm going to get a negative exponent, then I'm going to move it back to the bottom. Or I could start my subtraction on the bottom and put the answer in the bottom. I think I'm going to go with the second method. I get 7/2 minus 3/2 gives me x to the 4/2. 4/2. And I know that 4/2 is the same as x squared. Now let's take a look at 57. 57 says y cubed z all to the 1/6 power over y to the negative half z to the 1/3. Again, on the top, I'm going to do the power to a power thing first, and then I'm going to subtract the denominator. So 3 times 1/6 gives me 3/6, or 1/2 power. 3/6 is 1/2. And then z to the 1/6 power over y to the negative 1/2, z to the 1/3. And I'm going to subtract, and I have y to the 1/2 minus negative 1/2. Two negatives makes a positive. And then with the z's, I'm going to have z to the 1/6 minus 1/3. And 1/2 plus 1/2 gives me y to the first, or just y. And the second one here, which is a z, I get 1/6 minus, this is the same as 2/6, gives me z to the negative 1/6. We know that we can't leave our answer with a negative exponent, so let's move the z, which is the negative exponent part, to the bottom and get a positive 1/6. We don't have to write the 1 next to the y, the 1 exponent. It's understood. The next one we're going to work on is 59. 59 says x cubed y squared all to the 1/4 power all over x to the negative 5th y to the negative 1 all to the negative half. Again, we have power to a power, so we're going to do that first. So I get on the top x to the 3/4 power, y to the 2/4 power. We can simplify that if we wish. On the bottom, I'm going to get x to the positive 5/2, because negative times negative is positive, and y to the positive 1/2. If we simplify, I see that my denominator exponent is larger, so I'm going to put that answer on the bottom, x to the 5/2 minus 3/4 power. And 2/4 and 1/2 are the same thing. This is the same as 1/2. So y to the 1/2 minus 1/2. And if I simplify, 1/2 minus 1/2 gives me 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. And on the bottom, I'm going to get common denominator of fourths. This is the same as 10 fourths. 10 fourths minus 3 fourths gives me 7 fourths. Then let's take a look at, after 59 comes 86. 86 says we have the cube root of y squared times the sixth root of y. Well, I'm not really sure how to take care of this when it's in radical form, so I want to change it to rational exponent form because I'm more used to seeing it that way. And this is the 2/3 power, and this is the 1/6 power. And I know when I multiply, I need to add the exponents. This is the same as 4/6 plus 1/6 gives me 5/6. And since the instructions say to write it as a radical, I'm going to write the sixth root of y to the fifth. For question 88, we're doing the same type of thing. And I get the fourth root of a divided by the fifth root of a. And I, again, have difficulty when it's in radical form, so I'm going to rewrite this as a to the 1/4 power divided by a to the 1/5 power. And when you divide, you subtract the exponents, so I'm going to have 1/4 minus 1/5 power. At this point, we need to find our common denominator, and it looks like 20, so I'm going to write it as 5/20 minus 4/20, which gives me a to the 1/20 power. And again, we need to write our final answer as a radical, so this is the 20th root of a to the first, or just a. Let's now take a look at 92. 92 says the fifth root of b squared over the 10th root of b cubed. I'm going to write them as a rational exponent, so I get 2/5 power, and here I get the 3/10 power. I know when I divide, I subtract, so I'm going to get b to the 2/5 minus 3/10. Get my common denominator. This is the same as 4/10. 4/10. And 4/10 minus 3/10 gives me b to the 1/10 power. Rewriting that as a radical, I get the 10th root of b to the first, or just 10th root of b. And as an afterthought here, it looks like I have question 49 to do. Kind of must have left that one out originally. I have 4u squared, all of it to the 3/2 power. Notice that we have a number and we have a variable. So we have two things that we're taking to the 3/2 power. So I'm going to rewrite that as 4 to the 3/2 power times u squared to the 3/2 power. If we simplify the first part, we know that this is our root number and this is our power number. So if I take the square root of 4 and then cube it, square root of 4 is 2, so I get 2 cubed. Over here, power to a power, I multiply, so u to the 2 times 3/2 gives me 3. Bringing it down, and I get 2 cubed is 8u cubed. Thank you, and happy homeworking.